In this video I'll break down what skills and knowledge you need in order to be a better painter. Let's go! So let's analyse what painting is so that we can assess how to achieve a goal of being able to paint well and be a better painter. So most of you watching will be familiar with the painting by numbers kits started in the 1950s that you can still buy from art and craft stores and online. You're given a set of numbered pre-mixed paints and some brushes along with a pre-printed canvas, and you just have to match the paint numbers to the numbers on the printed outline on the canvas and paint them in. I think that painting normally is just a couple of steps up from that really. Painting by numbers just eliminates a few steps along the way in order to make it easier for you. Let me explain what I mean. So the first difference is drawing the outlines of the edge. Obviously when you're drawing your own you shouldn't draw the numbers in, but there are so many ways in which to draw accurately, and I've done a whole series of videos on drawing. So if you're interested in drawing techniques, have a look up here in the card. The next difference is that you need to learn to mix and match your paint accurately. I also made a video on that, and there's a link up here too. But a good understanding of colour theory is a great place to start. The next for today's video comes learning how to control the transitions between the paints you just mixed in the previous part. Painting by numbers doesn't usually involve blending, so this is one of the most obvious differences to see. For example, a soft slow transition, a soft quick transition, or a hard edge. All of these types need to be practiced using changes in values and hues, and both together sometimes. Included in the description I've left a little link for you to access an exercise sheet that you can print and practice these skills at home, just as I've demonstrated for you here. I've printed out my worksheet and I'm going to complete a little bit of it here in time-lapse as I explain what to do. This is actually oils on print paper, but so it sits better, I've painted on some gesso where I'm going to apply the paint. The first row is a colour matching exercise. I've overlaid an acetate sheet so I can paint directly over the sample for comparison. Square 1 is a red of high value and high chroma, so I start with the hue and move on to matching the value as best I can. I ask myself, is it lighter or darker red? Then match the chroma, is it brighter or duller than what I have? To dull it, I can either add the complementary opposite or a grey of the same value. To brighten it, I can only add more of the original red, which would lead me back to step 1 of trying to match the value again. I go through the same process with the next two squares. The second and third rows use the colours we've just matched to form different types of gradient transition. Row 2 is a transition in value, like the light and shadow on a curved surface. Row 3 is a transition in hue, like the change in hue of a sunset sky. Then there's a bonus exercise at the bottom of all of them working together in an image. So as to keep the two halves that aren't blended together clean, I paint one side up to the border and then the other up to meet it. There are several ways to which to blend, but that's for another video in itself. Today, I just use a light dabbing action as well as brushing along the line between the two I'm blending. Blending with two hues is exactly the same as blending with two different values. Applying these new skills to your own artwork isn't a very big jump to make. You're drawing out the shapes, you're matching the colours, you're blending between the matched colours where needed, but the secret is to tackle your own artwork in small, manageable chunks rather than the whole piece at once. That's why I like painting grapes, for example. I paint them one grape at a time, and before I know it I have a whole ball of grapes all painted. And if you liked this video and found it useful, please let me know in the YouTube algorithm by subscribing and clicking the like button and watching my other videos right the way through. It really helps my channel grow so I can make more of them for you. And don't forget to download the free worksheet from the description to follow along at home so you can practice and get better at painting. I'll see you in the next video. Bye. For example, different types would be a soft slow transition, a soft riff,